to be able to bring it all under control. And I'm wondering what levers there are. I'm wondering if we could be using, and this is to you, David White, if we could be using Section 63 of the Criminal Code, unlawful assembly, and if it would be possible to get a judge to declare under that section of the Criminal Code an unlawful assembly, which I understand would allow the mayor to then declare a riot, and in turn would allow us to do some mass arrests. Now, of course, we would need people to do that, but it would at least allow us to address the situation. I know others have talked about an injunction, so I would like to hear the legal aspects of what we can do to bring this under control now.
Councillor, all of those things are things that my office and my team are looking at, all in conjunction with their colleagues with the Ottawa Police. There is no singular answer. As you've heard from a policing perspective, there's no singular legal answer as to what levers we might pull, what orders we might obtain to bring this to an end. The work that my office is doing is all with a view of assisting and supporting the operational plans that are being put in place by Ottawa Police and their law enforcement colleagues. So with respect to Section 63, we have looked at that from our perspective, Chair. That is a somewhat archaic section. We have not actually been able to find any occasion where it's been invoked. And again, you know, taking these steps, even taking the steps of an injunction, for example, one, there are certain challenges that are associated with that. From an operational context, there are challenges that come from a legal context as well. As you saw today with the effort to obtain an injunction in the class action that's been commenced, the judge hearing that opined that he's not even sure how he would frame an order that would be effective and enforceable. So these are all things that, as I say, my office is examining, and we will provide updates, you know, either through the police as those kind of operational imperatives develop, or through council. Certainly, if we believe that there is an effective tool that can be deployed, then that is something that we're looking at.
Mr. White, how long will it take? Because we are in such a crisis situation. I would think we would want to be in court today asking if we could use the Criminal Code Section 63 to declare an unlawful assembly. We need to get on with this now. So, like, I don't know what the legal roadblocks are. I understand that you have to put a case together, but this is an urgent situation. So how long will it take to get to court to get a declaration that we need to arrest this situation?
Councillor, again, or Chair, my apologies. Chair, whether the route to resolving this is one that ends with mass arrests is not a decision that my office can make, as you can appreciate. As to whether that is a viable tool is a discussion that obviously we have with our colleagues. We're in constant contact with the Chief's legal counsel in that regard. As I say, if there is a view that these are an effective tool that can serve to bring this to a peaceful conclusion, then those are certainly things that we will pursue.
Would asking the mayor to declare a state of emergency have any immediate positive impact on this situation?
Chair, from the standpoint of legal authority, the declaration of an emergency under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act does little. It may provide some relief from some of the strictures that we operate under from a procurement standpoint, but it does not imbue the mayor or the city with any additional legal authority. There are provisions, for example, if the province declares an emergency, There are specific powers that exist in the premier and in the provincial cabinet, but from the beyond the kind of symbolic value of a declaration of a state of emergency under the provincial legislation, there's no additional authority that would provide either to the city or to the police.
Mr. White, can you perhaps tell us who has the authority to declare a state of emergency that will give us the tools that we need to bring this to a halt? Is it the province of Ontario? Is it the federal government under the Emergencies Act? Who is it?
Chair, I regret, I'm not in a position to tell you as to which level of government or who might exercise the authority to bring this to an end, quite frankly, without an idea as to what is necessary to bring this situation to an end. As you've heard from the chief and others, the situation that the city of Ottawa finds itself as the place that this is happening, certainly from my experience, this is unprecedented. There are authorities, as you say, with respect to declarations of emergency. The federal legislation, I think what you're referring to is the Emergencies Act that was passed in 1988 as the successor to the War Measures Act. There are extraordinary powers that are available under that. That is, as you can expect, an extraordinary step. There are sections we don't obviously deal with it with the municipality. There are sections that provide for the declaration of a public order emergency, but I am not aware of any instance that they have been invoked, certainly in decades.
Well, this, in my mind, is an extraordinary emergency, and we need extraordinary measures. And I believe that we need to ask every level of government to use the powers and the authorities that they have to declare the emergencies that we need to bring this situation to a peaceful ending. We cannot allow this kind of terrorism in our community to continue in this way. And so I would implore our legal minds to tell us what we need to do today, who we need to ask for what authority to help us to bring this to a conclusion. Member Norman.
Thank you, Chair. You have raised a good points, and maybe David White can either endorse it or correct me. Coming back on Section 63 of the Criminal Code, I don't think there is any roadblock or we need any judicial declaration under Section 63. I think police can simply invoke that power.
Chair, with respect to, again, I would simply reiterate as to what are considered to be effective tools that will serve to resolve this without escalation, without violence. That is a discussion that we are having regularly with our colleagues at the Ottawa Police. As I say, if the operational view is that will allow this matter to be resolved in a peaceful fashion, that is something that we will certainly pursue.
Thank you, David. I think I will build on what Member Sweta and then the Chair Deans have said, that if that is the intention, and of course there may be a political will or political solution to this, and we should be looking at all the options. As Chief has been saying that all options are on the table. So possibly I would like to hear what my other reverend members have their thoughts going forward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Norman. Just want to